Some people hear about the Resilience Academy and they are ready to try a new way to deal with stress in their lives. But others first want to know more about where it came from and who I am. So I grew up in New York City and I had a happy childhood. Here's a picture of me as a kid. I'm a twin. That's me on the left. When my brother and I were teenagers, our father died unexpectedly. And then, a couple of years later, our little half-sister died in a car accident. And then 2 more friends died in random circumstances before high school ended. I'm not trying to depress you or overshare, but people want to know where the Resilience Academy came from, and I think ultimately it came from me as a teenager being badly shaken up. I remembered being happy before this, but I didn't know how to go back to being happy. So I started asking big questions about life at a relatively early age. I then went to Johns Hopkins University because I wanted to be a doctor and a writer, but I soon realized that what I really wanted to do wasn't study biology. I wanted to study the great minds of the past and hear what they had to say about living a happy life. So I became an English major, and I learned how to think critically and read critically. I did well, and I began a PhD program after college, but then my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, and I stopped caring about literature. I dropped out of grad school, I moved to Maine, I got a dog, and worked in a bakery. And I like to joke that when stressed out, some people go postal. I went Thoreau. During my Thoreau years, I lived in different places, doing different things. And then, somewhat randomly, I sold a screenplay to the Muppets. I spent years living in Los Angeles working as a screenwriter, and I was still looking for answers to my big questions about how to go back to living a happy life. And I was trying lots of different processes. A friend suggested that I check out Byron Katie. Katie, as everyone calls her, is the founder of a process called The Work, and I loved it. It's simple, it's effective. I stopped screenwriting, and I became one of the directors of Katie's company, working closely with her for 3 years. It was a dream job. But my friends and family didn't really get it. The work can come across to some people as spiritual. My friends had stress in their lives, they had challenges in their lives, but they weren't looking for a spiritual solution or self-realization. And based on the techniques that I had explored, it occurred to me that there might be a way of presenting tools for change without it being spiritual. So I left her company in 2004 and started developing something similar but different, a sequence of 7 steps done on a guided worksheet. It's called ActivInsight because it makes having an insight into your life an active process. This is what the worksheet looks like. I first shared it with friends who found it helpful, and then I started teaching public workshops. I taught at nonprofits, helping people apply ActivInsight to addiction and cancer and social change. It was featured in Oprah's magazine, and word spread. Business leaders became interested, and I began teaching this as a resilience program through Wharton Executive Education to leaders from around the world. In 2010, I wrote The Myth of Stress, published as The End of Stress overseas, and more people learned about this. Over the years, this process has continued to evolve and has grown into one of the business world's most highly rated resilience programs. I have dozens of great companies as clients, and most weeks I get on a plane and help leaders apply this to team performance or growth and changing mindset. It's not stress management, it's not therapy. It's a way of thinking differently about the world you live in and generating insights that drive real change. As much as I love working with organizations, I regret that my programs aren't open to the public anymore. So I built this website. The internet is the great equalizer when it comes to education and content delivery. I don't need to rent office space in every major city. I don't need a big school that you have to travel to. I just need a website where I can take my training content, turn it into videos like this one, and then share it with you directly, anywhere in the world, any time of day. So that's what I'm doing. The Resilience Academy takes the same content that I teach in private, really expensive corporate programs and makes it available publicly, inexpensively, and conveniently so it can reach you and the people you care about. And honestly, it's what I would have wanted to find years ago when I was struggling and looking for solutions. So I'm grateful that technology makes this possible, and I appreciate your taking time to explore the site and hopefully to share it with others and help spread the word.